Hi guys!
Hello everyone.
This week we're going to be looking at promises as the start of a few different things. And have you ever had somebody make you a promise that they didn't keep?
Yeah, I've had that happen to me loads. But turning it, flipping it upside down, have you ever made a promise and you haven't kept it?
Well, have a look at this video and we'll look at some of the background.
Some of the most common promises most easily broken. I'll get back to you. I'll pay you back. I will love you forever. I won't tell anybody, I promise. Well, asking somebody to keep a secret and to promise not to tell is a bit like putting all your underwear on show on the washing line behind your house. And when that person breaks that promise and tells somebody, it's a bit like your washing line breaking, your underwear flying all around the garden, and all your insecurities and all your things that you might be slightly embarrassed about being on show for all the passers-by. Well, one of the first symbols for a promise was a rainbow. And promise itself means to tell someone that you will certainly do something. Where it is so easy for our friends and family to break our promises, there is one being who never breaks his promises, and that is God. And that is because God is outside our world and he's beyond any struggle we might face. And we can trust him because he is faithful towards us. His promises give us a hope and a future.
So let's look and begin at the Old Testament, which is the start of the Bible. So way before Jesus was born, people lived and they were followers of Jesus. Oh, well, some of them were. And some of them, the faithful ones, were given some pretty good promises from God.
At the moment we're associating the rainbow with the NHS and other key workers, which is great. But the first time we really hear about the rainbow coming into existence was in the days of Noah. And all those of you that either had a toy or remember things from a long time ago when they were very small will know about Noah and how God told him to build an ark. But at the end, after he'd been saved and all his family, the promise was made that the earth would never be flooded again, and the sign of that promise was a rainbow.
And there's other promises in the Bible, in the Old Testament too. There was a promise given to a man called Abraham. He was a faithful servant of God, and he was promised to be a father of a great nation.
Yeah, and he was on his own with a wife he'd had for a long time then, and both of them were getting pretty old. God really did come through, and he had a son in very much his and his wife's old age.
Yeah, and lastly, well, there's loads in the Bible, but last that we're going to mention is a man called David, and he became King David. But he was promised that he would be king way when he was young, and he fought to be king for a very long time. So There were many promises given to people in the Bible, but there were also promises written that for us.
Yeah, it may seem really strange that this book that was written such a long time ago would have a promise for us, but it doesn't just have one. It has lots of promises that are ours, and all we have to do is to accept them.
For example, the Bible says that God says, I will never leave you or forsake you.
Yeah, he says that when we meet together in his name, that he will be there with us.
He says that he'll be a friend that sticks closer than a brother.
Yeah, there's so many promises, and they're all promises of good things that we have to look forward to and that we can count on now, especially perhaps when things seem very hard and maybe it seems that, there's no end to how difficult things can be. But God says that he will always be there with us. So knowing that God has done all these things in the past and that he is fundamentally in charge and has a plan should be something that encourages us to think whatever is going on that's hard won't go on forever.
And last but not least, there's promises of throughout the Bible, or the Old Testament anyway, saying that somebody was going to be born into the world that was going to really make a difference.
Yeah, that somebody is the one that we celebrate at Christmas, where we read lots of things to do with Jesus that were written down hundreds or thousands of years before in the Old Testament. And they were words that God gave to people who were willing to listen to him a long time ago about who was going to come and what he was going to do when he came. And those were all fulfilled in Jesus.
So we hope that gave you a bit to think about promises that you make in life and the deep promises that are made by God.
Yeah, it's kind of really wonderful to know that at least somebody keeps their promises. And it's very important that we try to keep any promises that we make too. And I promised Becky I wouldn't say too much. So I'm going to shut up now and we'll see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.